Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. So for today's episode, I want to dive into who I think could be the ideal starting lineup for the Miami Heat heading into the 2025-2026 NBA season. They had some moves over the offseason. We have new faces on the roster. So who should start and why? Let's break that down in today's episode. So the Miami Heat were looking to bounce back and rebound after a pretty terrible, disappointing season last year. They finished 37-45. They had an early playoff exit. They got swept by the Cavs, and they lost the final two games by 30 plus points, then 55 points. Like, it was one of the most embarrassing playoff performances by a team in NBA history. And I know the Miami Heat were dealing with the Jimmy Butler trade saga, so that was a huge distraction, and they had some injuries, but still, no excuse to get blown out that badly, even though the Cavs were the number one seed last year. So embarrassing. The Heat are looking to bounce back. They made roster moves this offseason. So they traded Duncan Robinson to the Pistons. Kevin Love is gone. Kyle Anderson's gone. Haywood Highsmith just got traded. In return, the Miami Heat added Norman Powell, which was a great move. They added Simone Fontecchio from Detroit. They re-signed Davion Mitchell to a 2-year deal. They drafted Kasparis Yakachunas from Illinois with the 20th pick. And they signed two-way players, Myron Gardner and Vlad Golden. So we did add some new pieces to this Miami Heat team. And we do have one standard contract left. We just gave Drew Smith the 14th roster spot on a 3-year deal. We have one two-way deal left. So the projected starting lineup for the Miami Heat, everybody has been saying, is going to be Tyler Herro, Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, Bam, and Kel'el. So people are saying you have to start Norman Powell just because he is one of our top 5 best players on the roster. He's going to be one of our best top 3 probably offensive players on the entire roster. So I understand the school of thought of playing your best 5 players essentially. So I don't think it's a bad roster. We just don't have a point guard. Like, Tyler Herro is going to be our de facto point guard, and we've already seen that experiment in the past. And I'd rather have Tyler play his natural position, which is a shooting guard or a combo guard, I guess. Like, him and Norman Powell are both shooting guards, and so we don't have a true point guard in our starting lineup. And I mean, we don't even have like a real true point guard unless you consider Drew Smith a real point guard or traditional point guard, because Terry Rozier is not a traditional point guard. He's not going to be in the rotation, hopefully. And Davion Mitchell, he's a point guard, I guess, because he's small, but he's not like the greatest playmaking, distributing type of point guard. He's more of just a defender and tenacious type of defensive player. But anyway, I think that is most likely going to be the starting lineup. And there could be some adjustments, but those are effectively our 5 best players that we can play based on the roster that we currently have and based on their position. So we don't have any other centers. Like, Bam Adebayo doesn't want to be a center. He wants to be a power forward. That was his original position. So the only other centers we have on the roster are Kel'el and Vlad Golden. And Vlad is obviously not really going to be in the rotation. He's probably going to be in Sioux Falls. Probably not going to play a lot. So Kel'el is like our only center. So he is our best center. And Bam is our best power forward. And coming off the bench, we only have one other big, which is Nico, who is a point forward. So he's not even a backup center. And so we're going to have to stagger Bam, Kel'el, and Jovic and have a combination of the two of those guys on the court at all times. So Bam is going to have to play like at the 5 every once in a while if he's playing with Nico. I do like seeing Nico and Kel'el play together. Those were some good minutes. Like, they had some good chemistry last year, but this is who I think is going to be the starting lineup. But optimal starting lineup, in my opinion, I think would be honestly adding Davion Mitchell into the starting lineup as point guard. Like, I just think Tyler is better suited as a shooting guard, and he is going to be our number one option on offense. We are going to highlight and showcase Tyler Herro as our number one option. Like, sorry, Norman Powell, this is his team. He's been on this team since 2019 or whatever it is when he got drafted, 18. So you're the newcomer, Norman, even though you are a veteran. Tyler is a veteran now too, but he's younger. He's 25. He's in his prime. So I think Norm coming off the bench makes more sense because if you put Davion in the starting lineup next to Tyler Herro, he's a better defender out of all three of those guys. Like, Norm was a better defender early on in his career, but he's almost an average defender at best. Like, he might have been like slightly below. Tyler Herro is definitely below. Davion Mitchell is one of the top 10 point of attack defenders in the NBA. So we need a top tier defender against starting lineups. And having Davion in the backcourt with Tyler Herro, I think would make more sense. And then you keep Andrew Wiggins, you keep Bam, you keep Kel'el. And off the bench, when Drew Smith is healthy, then I guess you have Drew Smith coming off the bench. Very good defender, kind of like Davion Mitchell, not as good offensively, I don't think, or as polished as an undrafted player, but you have him then as like your point guard. Then you have Norm coming in, who is going to be our sixth man. He's going to be leading our second unit, and he's going to be playing against second unit defenders. Like, Norm can torch starting lineups, like starting lineup defenders. Like, he should be a starter, honestly, but I think just for the sake of fit with our roster, him coming off the bench would be great. And then you have Pella coming off the bench as well as Jovic. And then if you want to play small, which I think we have to because we don't have many bigs, then you have Jaime. Like, they said they wanted to lean young. So you got Drew, Norman, Pella, Jaime, and Jovic as your five that are coming off the bench. If there's injuries, if there's people in foul trouble, if you want more 3-point shooting, if Jaime's not playing well and he's still regressing, then maybe you put Fontecchio in there as the four, essentially, or the five, whatever. He's 6'8". Nico doesn't want to be the five, but we'll play positionless, I guess, off the bench. But then you put Fontecchio off the bench. Then you have Nico who could shoot threes. Then you have Fontecchio who can shoot. You have Norm who could shoot. Drew Smith, before he got injured, started shooting a lot better from three. And then Pella, like, he needs to improve. But if he can shoot 35, 36%, like, everybody on that that second lineup could shoot. So I think Tyler, Norm, Wiggins, Bam, and Kel'el are going to start. But I think my preference personally would be starting Davion Mitchell, especially because we re-signed Drew Smith. And if he is going to make it in time for the regular season and is clear to play, I see him playing over Terry Rozier. Like, why else would you give him a 3-year contract and re-sign him if you're not going to play him, if he's capable of playing? So anyway, that's who I think the starting lineup is going to be. But again, I just want Davion swapped out for Norman. That would be my ideal starting lineup that I think could make the most sense. And I think Norm is the type of guy that would take on that role as the sixth man. Probably wouldn't love it, but I still think it makes sense. But also, it doesn't make sense because we don't have the greatest team. Now he's on the East. I think Norm could get upset that he wouldn't be considered a starter, but who cares if he's a starter or not? It's all about who closes and finishes games. So Norm is going to finish games. Like, Norman Powell, Tyler, Wiggins, Bam, and maybe Davion or maybe Nico will come in. I don't know if Kel'el will close games. We'll see how he plays throughout the year. But Norman Powell will 100% get 34, 35 minutes off the bench. He will be closing all the games in the fourth quarter. So he's going to be in there for crunch time, clutch time. That's all that matters, I think, essentially. So anyway, that's all I have for this episode. Let me know who you think should be the ideal starting lineup for the Miami Heat. Do you agree with Davion being a starting point guard and having Norm come off the bench? Thanks for watching. And again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.